Wow. Okay, I think we're pretty close, depending on how things work. All right, are you about ready to rock and roll here, pal? Are you feeling
Yeah,
fresh?
I'm ready to rock. I'm
Do you
good to
have
go.
your coffees?
Yes. Everything important in life is good. Scrubbed a diaper. Everything's ready. Baby's ready. I'm ready. Knocking out of here.
Okay, I'm ready. I think.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm always scared whenever I use a production that Mott made.
5 seconds.
I'm always afraid there's going to be some unlabeled Easter egg I'm just going to bump into unexpectedly. All right. Here we go, boys and girls. Welcome to MPGL. We were supposed to have another match scheduled today. This was supposed to be the Execration versus, what was it, the Woundz, those guys. That one got rescheduled. Apparently, Execration is having some sort of power outage, like a power outage.
Oh, no.
They got an email and they said, hey, guys, just so you know, your power is going to be out during this window. And they were like, well, that ain't going to work for us. So MPGL, very flexible, accommodating with those sort of acts of God, if you will. So we're on the second line for our first two-game series today. Team Water versus Team Evos. I'm Zyori, he's Trent Pax. We got a Gyrocopter Sand King on one side, and we got the DP Clockwork here for Team Evos.
This is some real meta drafting here by both teams, honestly. Looks like basically MDL that just went down. Maybe the Razor first phase, the only kind of odd one out compared to the most popular heroes, but everyone else, they're gone, right? Night Stalker, Beastmaster, Io, three of the most picked banned heroes at MDL, obviously extremely popular and powerful in those dual offlane scenarios that are the name of the game right now. Clockwork did really well as well too, thanks mostly largely because of MSS, because that guy's insane on Clockwork. So this could be the 4 Clockwork like MSS was playing, or maybe it'll be the 3. You never know, because Clock's in both of those right now.
Still part of the reason why that little flex pick makes it into the top 2. And Disruptor into a Warlock now for Team Water. So some very big team fight really for both sides, and some sustainability now for Team Water. That Warlock. How popular is Warlock now, Trent? Is he a go-to support?
I thought he would be more popular at MDL, but he's definitely being picked a lot more than he used to be. He's basically a lot of answers to any sort of aggressive dual lane. Any hero can farm if you have a Warlock. I'm convinced. The heal is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. He's really not that great in a lot of tri-lane scenarios. He feels like one and done, not really bursty enough to find those kills. But in the 2v2 scenario, my word, sir, it's a totally different ball game. You've got that defensive potential, and the dot just feels so much worse when it's just the two of you. You know, when you're that disruptor and you take that second shadow word and you're just, oh god, you're just chewing through that regen. But some off
very flexible.
Get picked up here now. Omni Knight into the Underlord.
Okay, so Clock Omni, saw that a couple times. That's MDL. Very irritating. Run at you heroes, make one misstep, suddenly you're stuck with a purified Clockwork. So you're not gonna be having a good time. Just constantly purification, taking some damage. Clockwork's health goes back up. Rather irritating. And then they have to round it out here with their final pick. Could be the Gyro mid. Could be the Gyro safe lane. I kind of prefer another hero safe lane with the Warlock. I feel like you're not making the most out of your Warlock if he's only protecting a Gyrocopter, but up against the DP, they might want to pick a better hero for that matchup if she's going to be the mid hero. But that's another bit of flexibility that Evos have, and probably why Death Prophet is so popular right now, is that she can go safe lane or mid. A lot of safe lane Death Prophet by VGJ Storm. Coming second at MDL.
It kind of reminds me of safe lane OD a little bit. It feels really unconventional, but it's a hero that benefits so much with that early space. You know, DP is... I feel like Yule's Scepter is the make it or break it on that hero. You kill her a few times before Yule's, and she just completely falls off. Now Vengeful Spirit picked up by Water. Okie dokie. So...
we're going to use that flexibility.
What... to what end though? Is it a mid gyro and a okay, yeah, there you go. Safe lane Venge.
So they could OD still, as you were just saying. Like Death Prophet OD has proved to be a pretty nice combo. Plus they have the Omni. OD, or they could more like focus the Omni on the Death Prophet and say, okay, that's kind of your job. Let's pick someone who's a little bit more survivable. In terms of our final pick here.
Yeah.
And speed, though, for water, very fast. They could just kind of run you over this game. And they'll go for the Slark. Okay.
Well, very cool picks for both sides. You know, you've got Water with this super aggressive, great team fight, awesome 5-man lineup. Every single one of their heroes wants to be pretty aggressive early on. Then you've got Evos, where you've got this elusive Slark. You've got some sustainability with the Omni Knight and DP. But then you've got Clockwork Disruptor on the same squad. Two forms of, hey, you're not going anywhere. Come back here, you little bastard. Right into the Omni Knight purifications and whatnot. I don't know. I'm not sure which draft I really favor. I think both sides have a lot of execution that they need to do to make their drafts work. I could see either team actually winning this if they play it right, you know?
Yeah, I think theoretically I like the Water draft better simply because they have some of the easier things to do, like, you know, Sanking Stun. Underlord, get the pit. Venge, you get some stuns. You get some swaps.
Yeah.
There's some click abilities that just happen, and then anything looks a little bit off, you just chuck down the Warlock ulti. But Evos, you know, this is a Slark that's likely trying to hunt down the Warlock or possibly the Sand King, and then backlines initiate on them, and then Clockwork either hooks onto the same target or he looks for a secondary one at the same time, and you're trying to, like, pick apart the water and pull it so that they can't get those combinations going. Will the Omni Knight be able to keep up with the mobility of the Clockwork and the Slark? Is that going to be a problem for him? Same thing with the Death Prophet. So I think it's going to be harder for them to take well-coordinated engagements compared to the way that they're theoretically going to be set up for Ian, Mr. Water team over here.
All right. Trent, we're going to need to play this game where you link me the thing so I can do the smooth cam. I know how fun that is for you.
I had to play the game where I turn on my open mic in Dota TV too, just in case, because there's a ticket, so I should turn those on.
Hey, mine's open.
All right, my bad.
Mott did it. Thanks, Mott. Modders.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even see that message. Yeah, make sure you send it to Mott.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, the C cable broke, guys. Status: C cable broke. Hopefully they'll be all right.
All right, let's see. Space. I can't believe you don't use your space bar. Hey, oh, I thought I got tipped. I got really excited.
What do you mean?
I heard that sound.
Yeah, I heard that too. No, what do you mean about the space bar?
Oh,
What would I use it for while spectating?
You know, I was gonna say that, and then I realized that I don't use the space bar during spectating. So, touche, my friend.
That's
touche.
why it's so good for toggling.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that the days of the default hotkeys are coming to an end for me.
Yeah, they should be.
Well, you know. I've gotten
look up
spoiled
this
by
whole,
dedicated observers now.
Okay, here we go. So this is do we have any info in terms of the? All right, so yesterday, Clutch Gamers won 2-0 over Team Pepe. Titans won 2-0 over Team DTN. Boom ID beat Signify, and A Red beat MGA. Oh, okay, so we're casting half of the matches that happen each day. Is that right?
Yes. There's 2 matches going on every day.
At the
like,
same time, so it's like right. Okay.
And we're not I don't think we're just doing line 1. I think it's a back and forth kind of mix match of matches they selected.
Neat.
So, yeah, I mean, there's diminishing returns on running 2 streams, you know. Better to have it all concentrated in one place. But only one going on right now because the other one was rescheduled, as we mentioned.
Apparently still paused here.
Yeah, one guy's pooping.
Oh, I missed that part. Okay, perfect. Seems good to go now, though, thankfully. All right, let us get into some action here.
All right, so here we go. It is Team Water. They're here on the Radiant, and we got Team Evos on the Dire. I got to make my mini-map icons smaller, Trent. They're too big. There we go. 135%. That's the sweet spot. What do you use, big guy?
Default.
Jesus. What's wrong with you?
I know.
It's like watching a bunch of ants run by each other.
I think it looks all right. Seems like the lanes aren't going to be anything too surprising. I'm sure that Evos are expecting some sort of an aggro. Let's see. Have they spotted anyone yet? Are they just content with this? Because they're not going to want their Slark being forced up against this whole tri-lane thing. This will be awful for them. This would not be the life.
30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, that is like the fundamental issue with Slark. Getting online. You know, once you have the Shadow Blade, life gets a lot easier, but it's those first couple levels in particular when you are super squishy, you are looking to spend some time alone hitting the gym, and now we're going to see the invasion.
Yes, they are going to come and show themselves. Might as well do it now. And this is where they might as well just swap lanes. Like, this will give them both bounty runes. Obviously, for sure. Both sports will be back.
All right. There's one, and there's two. But on the other side, Evos, they picked up both bounty runes themselves. It's an even split, Trent. 50-50.
Well, I'll be curious to see how Evos react to this, because I don't know. Maybe their logic is they can just get the experience for the Slark, but okay, they're going to bring the clock. They're going to try and make something happen, but this is still not easy. But obviously your Clockwork's not going to do anything down bottom. Underlord just hits waves. Maybe you'll kill him a couple times, but does that really matter?
It is a
Unlikely.
pretty good tri-lane for water. We were talking about how Warlock isn't great in these tri-lane situations, but with 2 stuns from the Sand King and the Venge, certainly have a lot of options. Clockwork obviously going Cogs level 1. Debuts that there. And they'll stay committed to a try-on-try. So that means in the bottom lane, it's going to be Omni Knight versus Underlord. It should be pretty much Farm Fest there. And then mid, that's going to be DP on Gyrocopter. Another fairly even matchup. My gut tells me it should be DP favored, but I think this Gyro is going to fare just fine. He's off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, I mean, it's Gyro. You just get some boots. It's fine. He's a fast hero. He doesn't have too many concerns with DP.
Nice Cogs up top, though. Actually sets up to a first blood after a good pounce from the Slark. That's an easy kill. And it actually goes the way of Whitemon. That's a great handle. Whitemon.
Yeah, that's a very bad start for your aggro tri-lane. Not getting first blood with these heroes is very disappointing. You know, you're thinking you just get Venge Stun into Sand King, and that's it. We have a first blood. Life's easy. But they weren't able to get that the kind of awkward way that the clock first initiated into the lane. And from there, they haven't really wrestled any sort of control here. And Slark's just having a fine old time hitting creeps.
Yeah. And on the other side of it, I mean, Venge is trading evenly in terms of last hits, but I think that'll continue to swing in favor of Evos unless Wada can find some kills. Double damage going to be the first rune. Spawns up top. Nobody moving for it quite yet. Interesting. There is pressure on Team Water, right? Vengeful Spirit in the position 1. Not really known for her ability to scale. If you're not finding kills and starting to pick up that momentum, you very quickly just start to feel like another support in the mid game. So some pressure on these guys to find kills.
They do have an okay support in the 4 at the very least in a game like this, in the Sand King. That is someone that can make use of that space if they can actually take down some tier 1s. Then you have some trouble getting to the tier 2s or going high ground. That a Sand King pushing out waves would be very welcome.
Clockwork looking again for some Cogs, perhaps. They've got the glimpse back onto the Sand King. Cogs set up again. Slark going to connect on the pounce, and they'll find the kill. Looks like the last hit went the way of the creeps, but it's another one for Evos, asserting that dominance on the tri-lane once more.
Yeah, one thing is that the early levels are not that insane for the Radiant, like especially again when you don't get that first blood. Hey, here we go. This is the kind of thing you're looking at. You're like, how has this not happened every 2 seconds? You know?
Yeah. Nah, Sand King.
Oh, the fatal bonds, dude. He's gonna die.
I think so. And they're gonna get the Clockwork as well. It's a double for the Warlock. There you go.
Wow.
The heal
sick
might
bonds.
be, yeah, a little underwhelming in those first levels, but fatal bonds. 3 enemies. Very nice. Well, a sign of life. An even game on our hands, perhaps.
Yeah, they really needed that. And now Slark's playing a bit more scared.
So Gyro is struggling in this matchup. Oops. Oh, missed that one down bottom. Omni Knight going to pick up a solo kill against the Underlord there. Stun falls short on the Sand King. But yeah, this mid lane right now, super DP favored and about to continue that way. There's a rotation from the Clockwork. Gyrocopter now in a lot of trouble. He's blocked in by the Cogs. Creeps trying to help him out. Warlock TP's in, but the heal not enough to keep him alive against the level 3 Crypt Swarm from that Death Prophet.
Yeah, and struggling with his last hits, he did go for the ring first. I mean, again, still fairly common, I would say, but not having those boots does make him a little bit more vulnerable, especially when you add a Clockwork into the mix. So maybe getting a little bit desperate there with the Ring of Aquila, but he'll be all right. He also hasn't gone for a very greedy laning build. He hasn't put like 2 points in the missile or anything, which you could consider to be one way to actually deal with the Death Prophet. But then it's going to hurt you later when you're trying to catch up. And that clock, man, that rotation right bottom gets the Underlord with the help of the Omni Knight.
Yeah, nasty combo with these two heroes. As soon as you get caught by that first rocket flare, it gets Omni in range for the degen aura, and then once you're caught by both, it's just a matter of time till that purification comes out. Now top lane, it's the Slark again, stun after stun like you were talking about. Slark actually survives though, and they turn it the other way. Sand King falls. Slark with just a sliver of HP makes it into the tree line. A heartbreaker for Team Water. But
yeah,
they
he was able
find a kill.
to dispel the bonds this time. Or else he also probably would have went down again.
Close call.
But he has been missing out on quite a bit of CS. He's starting to catch up now, but there was like a 7 CS gap for a little bit there just because of all the Clockwork rotations. However, when they all go back to Shrine like this, it is a very happy Slark.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for the Slark to start picking up those pockets of farm himself. He'll go for a Ring of Aquila, Power Treads, and then he'll probably be on to the Shadow Blade, the stock standard for Slark's DP.
One would hope.
Still maintaining an edge in this mid lane. Already found level 6. Great stuff for Facehugger.
I've had a few games with a little Facehugger. Great name.
Yeah, another fabulous. I like this Slark's name is Illogic. Not illogical, just illogic. White
Get rid of
Mon.
the all.
He's in some trouble. And that'll be enough for a kill. It's a 2-on-3 now in the top lane. They're committing this Clockwork to the bottom. Now Underlord, again, caught by the battery assault, but there's going to be a shrine. Is it actually going to be enough, though? Omni Knight with the purification. They're going to stay committed onto this Underlord. Doesn't look like he's going to have help. No ultimate. And there's just nowhere to go. The degen aura is a little bit too much. Battery assault not even needed. 10 stick charges will pick the Clockwork back up. And this Omni now starting to ball, Mr. Trent.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think he had like a soul ring or something with how much mana he still had left, but just phase boots and sticks. That was a very fresh Omni Knight starting that engagement. It's not like he'd been laning for a while or anything like that, and absolutely no hope there for the Underlord.
Yeah, the Underlord has gotten a lot of last hits. He's played pretty aggressive with his positioning now up top. Clockwork hit by both stuns. Follow up kinetic field. Not going to box him out, and they'll get a kill the other way. It's Warlock with a dominating streak. He's the one that's finding all these kills, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. I think ideally you want your Venge getting at least a couple of these. I mean, it is pushing the Warlock to be the most farmed of the supports. We'll see the Underlord die again. This time it's a DP rotation with a double damage rune, so maybe a little bit more expected understanding that he might fall in that scenario, but...
Oh, he just TP'd back in there, though, right? Because of his death, so now he can't come down and defend this tower. Not that he's going to have the chance, it looks like, with the help of that DD rune and the Exorcism.
Yeah. I think they need to pressure this Slark, though. 3 heroes up top. You know there's 2 committed in the bottom. Stun onto the Disruptor. Kinetic Field. This time it could be enough. A lot of damage coming his way, but Fatal Bonds actually hurting the creeps quite a bit, and that will be enough. But it's enough to get the kill on Warlock as DP TP's in, now finds a double as Crypt Swarm connects on the Sand King. Again, it's a good exchange for Evos. This Death Prophet's all over the place, man. From mid to bottom and now to top. Illogic caught by a call down. One more auto attack will find it, but no, he's got the Shadow Dance, and Slark will survive, at least for now. Gyrocopter diving pretty deep. It looks like DP might double back. Kinetic Field. Disruptor. He's got the Thunderstrike on, giving his team some vision. The Rocket Flare also going to fly in, but DP not going to go for it. Pretty big net worth disparity, though.
Yeah,
Omni Knight and DP really pulled ahead.
Yes, Omnite's just having a hell of a time. Absolutely ridiculous. It is a fairly even lane, especially with some of the nerfs to Omni-Knight in recent patches, but obviously the Clockwork coming through and tilting it as well is just, it seemed Underlord maybe just played his hand a bit too far at the earliest part of it. He also hasn't bought anything. I guess he just hasn't had any courier time, it looks like. But he's just sitting like straight 1,500 gold. Like,
yeah,
it's brutal.
What he's gonna get? Okay, he's picked up the arcane boots now. Yeah, I think the 1v1 matchup, like you said, is pretty even, but it just takes that one rotation from the Clockwork, and that turns into a successful kill on the Underlord to really tip the scales, and then Underlord is stuck in this situation where if he goes forward at all, Omni-Knight can pretty much just run him down, and once the phase boots come out, it's just over. Up top now, smoke rotation. They want to find this kill on the Venge, and it looks like they might just do it. Crypt Swarm gets her down low, is now Warlock, stuck in the kinetic field, will also get brought down. 2-0, and a glimpse back might even be 3. Tech Core. Oh my. It's turning into a disastrous situation for Team Water here. Trent Sand King going to be lingering nearby, but DP's popped the Exorcism. They're waiting for the creeps to come in, and they are going to take this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, she needs to tank a little bit here. That doesn't want to waste all her spirits. So takes a few hits, gets a round of spirits in, and then, yeah, right back to the damage.
5K net worth lead now, 5-13, and going to be a little bit more once this tower falls. Clockwork with a double damage, looking for someone to rotate, maybe mount the defense, and they actually don't commit for it. The glyph is enough for the Dire to back up. Got a little ahead of myself there. Maybe they see this gyrocopter pushed forward. They see those brown boots, and he looks juicy.
Hits the hook here.
Here it is, downtown. Follow up from Facehugger actually does not connect, but the Clockwork might have enough for the kill on his own. Getting pretty low as he takes another tower shot, but the Warlock TP's home. In comes
to the shrine.
Underlord, a little redemption. You're right, that is to the shrine, not home.
They're trying to kill Omni.
Now he's going to have a GA. Still has some stick charges as well as an infused raindrop and a purification. Not the easiest kill to find. Phase boots back up. He gets to the high ground, but a magic missile chases him down. Now Sand King getting pressured pretty hard. Thunderstrike getting him low. A Spirit Siphon and a Crypt Swarm to find the kill for Facehugger. So Evos give a little bit away, but still find some kills in return. I think the real takeaway is space created for Slark, now making some real progress towards that Shadow Blade.
Yeah, you would think if they had any sort of a lead, it would be him starting to like kick off and everything, but everyone else is just helping out to give him that space, get him up and towards the danger item. And that poor Warlock, man, he is going to have a hard game when that starts coming out here.
Oh, yeah.
At least he has made it to level 6 relatively early, considering he's been tri-laning the whole time. Kind of shocked, honestly, that both supports have, but I guess that's also been taking out of the Venge. She's only level 7, whereas you got a Slark who's level 9.5 now at this point, as he was largely dual-laned and then got quite a bit of alone time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about how early that Clockwork left the lane and started moving around. And even Clockwork found early experience pretty easily. He's level 7 now, so hook shot, obviously not a problem there. Omni-Knight off lane, going for the Yule Scepter first item. Such an obnoxious build. He's getting even more movement speed in this situation where he's chasing people down, and now he's going to have a way to interrupt TPs, have a reset for himself. Very smart item choice, but one more thing Water's going to have to deal with. Mid lane, Underlord going to find himself in a sticky situation. The hook shot starts things off, and all of the follow-up is there. Purification doing so much pure damage. And
nice
that
ward.
Will be another freebie.
Playing it down to easily set that up there. That's how Clockwork likes to play. If someone can place some wards down in aggressive positions, and then it's just like, oh, look, we catch one hero here, and then we're just going to get an objective. So thank you, whoever planted the ward, for making our game easy.
Now the rotation from Water coming through.
See, it was white, man.
Not going to be able to save the tower, though. It goes down, the tier 1. Glimpse back onto the Sand King. Matino does connect on a stun, but Omni, so damn hard to play against. Now the Rock, but I don't know that it's actually going to matter. Might find this kill on the Clockwork, but in on the back line, Facehugger is going in hard. He does not have the Yule Scepter. But it's going to be enough. Swap the other way. They're going to get Whitemon. Still manages to get down the Static Storm, but it does not do much. Meanwhile, on the other side, Gyrocopter gets killed by a Purification, and Warlock will fall as he gets caught by a Spirit Siphon. Omni, though, oversteps his bound, hit by a stun, does not get off the Yules or the Purification. I think he got the Yules after he died. Completed it well, but ended up being kind of a sloppy fight for the Dire. It's a 3-for-3 trade. Slark now coming in, trying to finish off the Sand King, but he doesn't have any detection. Also does not have the Shadow Blade, so he needs to be a little bit careful. Clockwork with the hook shot inward does not save the Slark. In fact, might actually end up dying himself. Looking to set up this kill on the Venge. It's going to be close, but Disruptor helps him out. They go 1-for-1. Glimpse, Kinetic Field, but I don't think Whitemon has the damage. No more cooldowns left, and Matino actually going to chase him down. He's got some reinforcements coming his way. They're going to make it to high ground themselves. Now Gyrocopter has the rocket coming, but hey, it's a repel. Omni Knight's here. Now he wants to turn on this Sand King. It's a big time back and forth, but the Glimpse across getting healed up by Warlock. Warlock gets killed by Facehugger, who's now rotated in. And with that, Team Water are actually going to make the retreat. But just as it's sloppy for Evos, it ends up looking a little sloppy for Water as they hand a few over. Sand King, he shows. Oh, no.
And the Gyro, too?
Is he going to get caught? Yep, Kinetic Field's there.
Yeah, glimpsed all the way back.
Well, boys.
I liked the Golem ulti, I will say. And then he just sticked the Golem on the Ancients so that he could like make use of the Fatal Bonds because he hit a few heroes as well as the Ancient, but then there was no Golem just like pounding away on people in these fights, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Tough call from him, but now in the end I think it was definitely the right call. Trying to fight their way back into this one. As Underlord, oh, there's going to be a lot of burst, buddy. I'll be okay.
Cool. TP's out. Very nice. What a weird exchange that turned out to be, though. It was actually pretty okay for Water, and then they just tossed what little advantage they had. Now both Yule Scepters are up on Omni and DP. Death Prophet, by the way, has not died yet. She's 10-0-4. So
yeah.
Facehugger right now, a real force to be reckoned with. Up top, Tier 1 tower. Looks like that'll be a freebie. Water will pick that up as Dire are smoked up. They're going to head mid.
They're
They
going to
see
take
Sand
Roche.
King.
They got a Solar Crest on DP. They have an ulti.
Yeah, you're
That
right.
is, that's the plan here.
Straight into the pit.
Yeah, because Avenge lineup, like, maybe that's one way you can recover, too, was you just get this Aegis. Like, she's got max out Wave of Terror as well. But they're well aware of what's happening.
Yeah, they smoke in. Roche pretty low, but still has enough that they could definitely snipe this. Venge running in very aggressively, but kind of ahead of the rest of her team. Roche does end up going down. Aegis goes to Slark. Now this Gyro with a big call down actually gets the kill onto the Clockwork. Omni Knight in
They're
very
trying to
far
kill
forward.
DP.
There's another fight on the backside. DP gets one, but does end up going down herself. The Venge getting credit for that shutdown kill. Omni Knight now also getting locked down. Probably will fall, but survives long enough for Slark to set it up. Illogic gets off the Shadow Dance. Does not want to waste the Aegis here, but he actually might. It's a nice hit from the Underlord, and that'll do it. Now, can they kill him again? That's the million-dollar question. And
oh my god.
an absolute resounding yes on that. That's a triple kill for Tech Core. And that Roche gets shut down. Still a net worth lead overall for Evos, but it's a 3K swing and a big-time sign of life for Team Water as they look to grab their second Tier 1 tower here back-to-back.
What's shocking is that fight actually started out very well for Evos. There was a 3-man silence as they were coming to the north side of that pit there. Fury on the Warlock could not get anything out. Like, he's just looking. He's like, man, I actually can't ult right now. He just standing there. And then he didn't really find a great ulti. He had to use it on the Death Prophet while she was mid-Yules. So,
Yeah.
not exactly ideal, but one thing he did do well was he was positioning to allow the Venge to swap out. And then she kind of got like a second volley of spells off because of the swap out. And then, obviously, the Death Prophet this time being pulled apart from the rest of her team is what won that fight, really, for Water.
Yeah, I think that fight was also representative of how important the Clockwork initiation is to kind of break things up from the side of Water. The gyrocopter had a really good call down. It hit 3 heroes around the pit, and that was what finished off the clockwork at the beginning of the fight. And the rest of it was kind of easy from there. It's sort of cool how they're playing this Vengeful Spirit also, where she's running in, then using the swap more defensively, like you said, rather than swapping to initiate, sacrificing herself just to put someone else in a bad position. Mid lane, though, gyrocopter, he will be stuck inside of some cogs, getting down pretty low, but actually makes it out. Now he's getting healed up by the Warlock. The fight could turn the other way, though. Evos, they want to commit to this. They've used the Exorcism, and Water pretty low on resources. They lose the Gyro. Now the Dark Rift home. It's not going to come out soon enough, and the Sand King gets left behind. It's a 3-0. Some losses mitigated, but, oof, Water not happy with that one.
No, that basically puts them almost right back to where they were when they started going for that Roche.
It's a 1,500 swing the other way, and they made 3K, so they could do that again, Trent, and then they'd really be where they were. But yes, really not great. However, if they find a kill here, that would be big. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, kind of a heartbreaker as that falls short.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think Venge is a risky hero to go the mask on. I mean, I guess they needed something, right? She needs to catch up. She knows she's behind. So that's the play. But, like, there was a really nice swap opportunity during that fight where, like, maybe she could have pulled out the gyro there and made his life a little bit easier. And then he could have had a better initiation. But she couldn't go for it. I mean, also, you have maxed out wave.
In these kind of discussions, I always think, like, what's the alternative? You know, would it be better if she had the Dragonlance finished and some drums or something? You know, instead of having a Mask of Madness part of a BKB or almost a full BKB.
That might be part of the problem. I mean, there's also like a Shadow Blade build, perhaps, so they could do some other plays, things like that. But Silver Edge isn't like incredible this game. I think the Hurricane Pike is worth mentioning again, as you were saying, like building it towards that because they don't really have anyone going for it, and it is against the Clockwork. So like instead of a swap, she could just have that, and then she'd have swap and Force Staff to like double save people.
Yeah.
But I don't fully disagree with the Mask of Madness. I think it's actually pretty fine here. She's going for the BKB next as well. It's just, you know, it hurts when you're playing the hero and you're like, shit, I can't use my kit because I'm silenced, but I'm also doing a lot of damage, and that is something our team's lacking right now.
Yeah. Up top, rotation maybe coming into the Death Prophet. It's a hasted up Sand King, but no, they don't quite cross paths. Now the rest of the Dire moving on in. Who's going to catch who? Sand King gets silenced. And that will be the end of Matino, also stuck inside the kinetic field. Hook shot forward, this time in onto the gyrocopter. Cogs push him back. Battery assault. Yule's Scepter, the rest of his team dark rifted home. They were like, well, EJ, we'll see you later. 2-0.
Yeah, at least they recognize that they cannot take any sort of engagements the second one person is gone, because that chase down, man.
I love
Like
your
the
ability
hook
to
shot,
find
the glimpse.
positives in the sea of negatives. It's like, well, at least they're self-aware. At least they know they can't take any fights. However, they are going to do it mid. The glimpse is going to come out onto the Underlord, and he's going to get brought down. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad bonds, but you just used your giant rock cooldown, and they killed it almost immediately. This is that point of the game already. We're starting to feel like, man, this Warlock just doesn't bring that much to the table compared to this, like, Clockwork or Disruptor or even the Sand King. But back-to-back deaths from Atinos. He's like, hey, man, I just got back. What's going on? Fuck.
Yeah. It's actually really hard for the Warlock to play his game at this point because he has Yule's Scepter on... Oh, geez.
Look at this shit.
He's dead.
Like, I mean, that couldn't have been a more exemplary situation of what you were just saying.
Oh, no. Well, he also, like, all his shit gets dispelled because they have Repel, they have Yule's, like, Yule's, and they have another dispel on the Slayer.
Dark Pad, yeah. No, you're totally right. It's... He can't do anything. You know, he's like a 2-minute mage.
Yeah, but that's when you need your Sand King to step up, man.
He's a 3-minute mage, I guess.
He's got to go clear out these bottom waves. Screw this Underlord. You don't need an item. I need a Blink Dagger. This Underlord should be, like, getting out of that lane. Sand King should be down there. Go get rich, man.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They have not really shifted the farm that well. And, you know, look at Underlord's Eye. It's like, yeah, you got Guardian Greaves. Awesome. But it's sort of a luxury item. 22 minutes in, having Arcane Mech is great. Give that space to the Sand King. If you can allocate that 1,700 gold you spent on the Greaves towards the Sand King to get that Blink Dagger, dude, you got a different game on your hands. I'm with you.
No, as long as they can just go for it now.
Well, we'll see. You don't think it's too late? This Sand King could still turn it around and go Nectar all over this game?
He's level 12. He's got second epi. There's a chance. It's not a very large one.
He's
but,
still 500
with fatal
gold away.
bonds. As long as they're all stunned, they can't dispel it.
Uh-oh. Tech Core. He's in trouble. He's dead. He did get down the Pit of Malice. But, yeah, that's another one.
And how was it set up? An aggressive ward. Patching people while they're trying to defend these little tier 2s. These guys are some good clockwork teamers.
Look at these kids using wards here. Look at these guys.
All right, Sand King, be brave. Oh no, will he even get to go home to use it?
Matino. He's got the TP scroll. Looks like he'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having flashbacks to that game we played just the other day, Trent, when you said, we don't need mech, just buy the wards. I've been thinking about those. It's like, keep it simple, stupid. That's become like a mantra that I say internally. We don't need mech, just buy the wards. Here we go. The smoke, the last-ditch effort from Team Water. They get turned on, and oh gosh, this Warlock not even able to get off the ultimate. Dark Rift comes. They do kill White Mon in exchange, but the BKB Vengeful Spirit misses the taxi service. The big epi, the Blink Dagger. It's the Tickler. They get to half HP, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah, you got blinked in. Or you blinked in, you got instantly silenced by Death Prophet.
Trent, this one's
get his burrow.
Feeling pretty over. 17-37. It's high ground time. Evos, they're looking to close this one out. 25 minutes in. This 2-game series looking like a game 1 victory, going to be headed to the Dire. They have not taken Barracks yet. It might not end on this push, but this is looking to be a absolutely massive lead.
Yeah, it would be extremely surprising to see a team lose when they're up 16k at 25 minutes. That would take some very questionable item purchases.
I mean, they're like winning these fights without Omni Knight even using his ultimate or anything. He's now going to go for this Pipe Crimson Guard build, so he's just like a walk-in damage mitigator.
Well, somebody tell Clockwork, because he wanted one too. So,
another smoke.
Find something else. The
real last-ditch effort here from Water. They've figured that Roche might have respawned. They find White Mon, and the rocket actually goes to Roche. That's kind of cool. Buyback is available on the Raptor if they want to try this. Double damage up on Omni Knight. They could probably just charge into the pit and make this happen. However, they do not have Exorcism. 9-second BKB on the DP, but they don't kill Roche fast enough, and they are just going to back out. I don't think there's a medallion or anything like that. So even though Venge is pretty good against Roche, does also have a Blightstone, feels a little risky, and they're just going to back on up.
They can't fight the second there's any sort of vision like that. They've been murdered by vision this whole game. You know, if Clockwork's just free to find some angle, they still don't have an answer to the Cogs. They got nothing. There's no Force Staff. They have a BKB on the Venge, but I mean, if Gyro gets hooked, he's just dead unless he gets swapped out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that that's really super effective compared to a Force Staff in that regard, but...
Take me instead!
Yep. Underlord going for a pipe, it would seem. And now Venge is going to go into the Shadow Blade build that you were talking about, so... Great for the right clicks, good for initiation, mobility, sort of half of a Force Staff in some ways.
Yeah, her itemization's a bit tough this game because I think she's supposed to help just kill the Death Prophet, but I don't know how they kill the Death Prophet. It's really hard to get enough damage on that hero to kill her with an Omni Knight when she's Yules, when she's the BKB. I feel like you need like that AA or something, but...
Hey, there's the swap. Clockwork's still alive, though. Big-time silence going the other way, and Omni with the GA ensures the survival. Now BKBs get popped. Venge trying to right-click down the face hugger, but He's not going down too quick. Now the taxi, no one going to get left behind except Warlock because he dead. And now they're going to glimpse back the Underlord. Nicely timed. And Gyro, he'll be so mad that throwing his keyboard across the room actually tripped the cable on the router there. So we're going to need a minute for him to get that plugged back in, and then we'll be all good. But big plays from Evos once more. Kind of a sad state of affairs, and you see that double BKB, like, all right, guys, the Death Prophet's alone. Let's jump on her. And then she just silences 3 and charges.
Yeah.
They have no choice but to Dark Rift immediately. That's just very, very exemplary of the state of this game and just how far ahead Death Prophet is. 16K net worth compared to the 11 of Vengeful Spirit. That is a tough reality.
So what happened in our game here? We had a gyrocopter that got sacked pretty hard mid. We had a full effort tri lane up at the top, which meant there was no one going around and putting any sort of like stacks out for the gyrocopter as well, which meant he had no real way of recovery. And then we had, I mean, they lost all 3 lanes in the end.
Yes.
That is what happened.
Kind of to varying degrees, but yes, up top, Evos got a couple kills in the tri-lane, so that tipped the scales. And to be fair, Water did find at least a couple of kills on the Warlock, but it just wasn't really enough. And then as soon as it was kind of a wash, the Clockwork just left, won the bottom lane. We'll hold this thought as mid lane initiation. They'll actually catch the Clockwork. Omni unable to save him. Even with 2 dead, it seemed Evos were just not expecting that rotation from 3. It's a cute little play from Water, but Illogic showing off his prowess as Shadow Dance is used and EJ gets left behind again. Teal just obliterated. The Sand King, he uses the Epi Blink, but it doesn't matter, Trent. It does not matter. Hook shot off the mark, does not connect, but the GG Splicko calls it, and Evos are going to take game 1. That'll just about do her.
Yeah, certainly the better team. Clockwork, I think, setting the tone for this game, man. He just got such a great start, rotating across the map, and you said talking about how the Warlock kept getting the kills up top. One thing that was happening with the Clockwork when he was rotating to that early part is that he actually wasn't getting like any of the kills, which was great because it allowed him to keep playing aggressive and he didn't give away anything. Like, you don't really need any gold, but look how involved this guy was. He was 3-7 and 22.
Wow, he was
3-2-2
in kills and assists. Look at that.
Very impressive.
What a dank Clockwork player. A photo finish. And no, I think the real problem, though, mid lane, it wasn't just that DP won the lane, it was that she took over the game. As soon as she made those early rotations, it was clear that Gyro was going to flatline and this DP was going to continue to take over. 17-1 and 13. Her first rotation was going down bottom, using Exorcism, taking down the tower, immediately TPing top, getting a double kill, and then just going home to heal, and then just farming the mid lane again. You know, when you have a start like that on Death Prophet, you're poised to be feeling pretty good. Let's just take a glance at player net worth. Yeah, you see that brown one? That's the Death Prophet. So it's pretty even. Oh, that's the Omni Knight even. But, you know, it's kind of even with the leading farmers, and then DP just erupts into this beast, and they had no tools to deal with her. You know, that hero shutting that hero down is all about burst damage, and they just didn't
single
have it.
target, which is one thing they were definitely lacking.
Yeah,
you can argue Venge is kind of single target, but she's not single target like an Ursa or a Monkey King, or one, you know, a hero that's actually specifically designed for that purpose, and not really a 5-man-esque Dota 2 action. So. Right. We'll see. I thought the skill level overall wasn't insanely better from Evos. I think they did play better, and they seem to be a little more highly skilled. But I could definitely see Team Water finding their footing in game number 2.
Yeah, I would agree. Evos, I do think played better across the board, but there were some missteps. I'll agree with you there. I think they had a much more clear game plan, like do a 4+1. Easier to play around that Omni Knight when he's so far ahead to make space from the Slark, and then once Slark comes online, it's pretty much just take good fight, win game from that point forward. But 2-game series here, boys and girls. I am Zyori. He is Trent Pax, and we are coming back after this break. I got to update these over.